Welcome back, buddy. How have you been?
Not been too bad. How are you?
Good, man. So, isn't it great to have the summer over and the volume coming back?
It is, it is. It's
All
not been
the
easy. It's not been easy, but it'll
yeah, a
crack on.
lot, yeah, a lot of chops. So here we are in the fall trading season, and looks like you want to start off with the DAX. So,
Actually, no, I was going to start off with the dollar yen. I was just trying to,
oh, okay,
yeah.
all right, beautiful. Okay,
So should I just get cracking?
yeah, go ahead.
Right. Okay, so coming into the new week, there's a few trades that I have my eye. One's dollar yen, and one's euro USD. Got stopped out on my euro USD. I think my stops are a bit too tight. I'll get back into that, but let's start with the dollar yen. So dollar yen. So with dollar yen, I'm going to start with the quarterly as we do.
Okay,
Uh, so I'm looking at this quarterly chart, right? So I'm looking at, the range lows and range highs. And when you dropped, that was the initial low. We came into it there. We came into it again, but we're pushing back up. So it's August, last month, I believe, the quarter, and we're
okay,
above previous quarterly low. So is that enough to go by? Well, as soon as it does something like that, my eye switches right to the open then. Okay, so that's just to get a bigger picture. As long as we stay above previous quarterly low, I think we push higher. Now, looking at the dollar yen now on the lower time frame to get a clearer picture, I'll start with the monthly. Similar thing, okay, we came down to key support, looking for the push up. Now, whether it has massive follow through or not, I'm looking for more short term targets. Looking at the weekly, we've been in a range, about 3, 4, 5 weeks consolidation. I'm starting to break above this low here. Last week was the first week we had a close above. That puts me on bullish alert. Daily, okay, because we've been in a range, okay, this is one
that
of the pairs that stand.
breakout at 106.80.
Yep,
If we stay above it, you have to be long. Is that the way you're
yep.
viewing? Okay,
Yep. So because we've been in consolidation, I'm looking for expansion now. So out of most of the pairs I'm looking at, I'm reckon this is one of the pairs that should start expanding to the upside. So let's break this down further, and it's just basic SR really: support, resistance,
yeah,
resistance, breakout is holding.
right.
Looking for 108.20, simple as that. As for my risk, I've got a stop loss here below this low because if it's going to break this low again, this SR level, most likely we're going to head lower. But I'm watching the 80 level now with the dollar yen. I mean, you mark at 106.80, 107.80. The 80 level just acts as a key pivot.
Okay.
So I actually closed my longs and then I just got back in about 10, 15 minutes ago with my risk below here. Yeah, I'm just looking for the 108.20. So yeah, I think
Okay.
if we can clear this high here, I think we should be on for 108.20.
Okay. And why 108.20 for a target?
Well, it's the open. 108.18 is the quarterly open. I
Okay,
believe it'll
got it.
probably go
There
higher.
it is.
And also, if you look at this, right, I'm looking at my range from that high to this low.
Yeah.
Mid-range is capping the market, so naturally you're going to get some sort of reaction. But the way it's holding above this key level here, I think as soon as it can clear it, that'll confirm it. I can add more above here and just look for that target. Maybe trail some higher, but we'll see. But 108.20 looks like a high probability target to me.
All right, let me ask you something. Do you watch correlation, Saeed, or is it strictly every chart is its own unique character, instrument? Because, there have been and are at times very tight correlations with the yen and metals or the yen and interest rates. Do you pay attention to that at all?
Yeah, I do look at correlations. I mean, I think you're just limiting yourself if you just look at a chart on its own. I look at a bigger picture. I mean, what I
Yeah.
explain is probably like half of what I look at. I look at a
Okay.
lot of other things at the same time, like fundamental views as well. Like I said before, I mean, I'm no good at fundamentals, so I go to people that are and get their views on it. So yeah, I mean, I look at, it's like, for example, the dollar yen and the S&P correlation. So
Okay.
I think this probably plays catch up now.
Okay, so risk on would be your assumption at least until we achieve that target
Yeah,
in
that's
equities, right?
yep, that's what I'm looking for. So I think this,
Okay,
out of all the pairs, I think this should start moving. What I'm expecting. So yeah, that's one of my favorite pairs to go with. Uh,
okay. I don't know what you wanted to talk about, but last week was a pretty significant week in the dollar. That perhaps that was at least a high, maybe the high, depending upon follow through. You have a view there?
Do you know what? I was very bearish dollar for weeks, and I've just been getting chopped up in there. But I mean, I'm not convinced. I mean, looking at the bigger picture, right? I mean, just look at the quarterly. I'm not convinced that we've got a top in just yet. Maybe a short-term pullback, but it's just been a grind, hasn't it? I mean, looking at the
Yeah,
weekly and stuff, it's just been a
forever.
grind. I think it pushes towards the range high, about 100. I reckon.
Okay.
But for me, what would confirm it is if we break this low here, I think then for now, let's just,
97-ish.
yeah, around there. So
Okay.
for me, it's just resistance turned to support right now. So I'm
Okay.
seeing last week as a pullback. I think euro is giving me more clarity of the dollar index. So I'm going to go into euro now.
Okay.
So looking at the euro quarterly, okay, so if we look, we had this massive range here and we broke out of it, and I wanted that to hold. I think last time I was very bullish, the euro, but the moment it got back below it, that's what was saying to me that this was just a deviation. And I personally think, just based on this chart alone, I think we push lower, and the guys I've been speaking to, they're saying fundamental views lower as well. So I think into there, lower into
Okay.
about 1.05, 1.04-ish.
Enough to trade it from here or wait for a rally to do so?
No, I think yes, last week was the rally we were looking
Yeah.
for. So
Okay.
even though I've been squeezed out, I've got a clear plan for it anyway. So my plan is, I've got a bit of a mess here. So I think this consolidation, this range is key for me here. So I mean, if we were to look at just pure SR point of view, okay,
Mhm.
this is just support turn resistance for now. Now, clean break above, then I may have to reconsider and say maybe we have this could become a deviation. And if we cleanly break above it, then push higher. Careful, we've got ECB this week, so anything can
Yeah,
happen.
that's true. Yeah,
So,
noise.
but short term, I mean, I'm just looking for short term opportunities for now. And my short term opportunity, what I'm looking for, going back to the lower time frame. So we've established is that resistance and we had a rejection, okay? But is that enough? I don't know. But I'm looking at this. Now, this is the mean. So I've got the range high there, range low there, and the mean. So we had a deviation above it. And then when we got back below it, it's just been dropping. Now, is this just going to be a pullback into it? So what I'm looking for now is, I don't have confirmation yet. I shorted it this morning with a stop loss there. Maybe my stops are a bit too tight. So I'm waiting now and seeing, okay, as long as we stay below the range high, I believe any rally is a sell. Now, what would confirm the idea? Well, for me, I don't know how deep the rally is going to be, but what I do know is if it breaks below here, then I believe it's breakout of consolidation. And then at that point, it takes us back below the weekly open. And for here, this is going to be critical for me around the 1.1, 1.095 level. But this can be a short-term day trade target for me. If we get below that, then I think we're on for these lows. And then all the way back down to probably fill this gap in. Wouldn't be surprised. So this is going to be a target 1.0874, and going by the quarterly charts, the 1.05 level. So I'm still bearish this, but if this gets taken, smash above that, then I think we're on for much higher
Yeah,
price.
so the Macron election gap could be a target.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too bothered about getting to the extreme target, but high probability targets for me would be here, and then further downside would be there, and then just pick out each low at a time
Okay.
for targets.
Nice look.
So yeah, that's one of my main plays. I'm looking at gold as well.
Good.
Now gold, macro view, bigger picture, I am very bullish this, but I think we're due for a pullback in this. Now it's at a critical point for me. So again, last week we had a drop, and then towards the end we had a rally. I think we're probably soon topping out here. So what I'm looking for is a move below. I think this consolidation, above this consolidation, probably bullish, but below it, we're bearish. So I'm being conservative here. If you can break these lows here, I'll be looking
Around
for
1,500. Yeah.
About 1505, clean smash
Okay.
below here.
Okay.
I think I'm looking for a short there into these lows here, and then there. But
There's
yeah,
support all the way down for hundreds of dollars, isn't there?
this is where I'd like to start looking for longs around the 1440s. Around here. So yeah, let's see. I think we could have a short-term double top in, but a clean break above here, then I think we continue the massive uptrend. Not only that, well, this is the thing. I mean, looking at a big picture,
new highs.
I would say I don't know about new highs, but probably around about here, I'd say.
Okay, 1630-ish.
Yeah, 1620, 1630s. Yeah, I reckon we're on for those targets. But I think more than that, I'd like silver. Silver looks like the better play to me. Once you can do the pullback. So looking at silver chart, I mean, we've just broken out massively. So any pullback for me into these highs, I mean, let's compare them both together. I mean, gold has reached the objective here. but silver looks like exactly the same thing happening, but it hasn't. It's just obviously warming up. Obviously, you had 1, 2, 3 months of up move, so obviously we're gonna have some sort of pullback. How deep is the pullback going to be? Who knows? But in that case, what I do is if I don't know, I'll just mark out the monthly open, let it do its pullback. I know that's a key SR. Do I know if it's going to hold? That's a key SR. I don't know where it's going to come down into, but I'll let it do its thing. As soon as it can then get back above it, then I think the low is in for the month, and then we head higher. I mean, I'm looking for.
Do you trade the gold silver ratio?
I look at it. I look at the gold silver ratio, so we can
Okay.
quickly have a gander there.
Because that really fell apart.
I mean, it's having a pullback for now. So obviously,
that's a monthly.
That's actually a quarterly.
Okay.
It's the weekly I'm interested in. Just to clear a picture. So I think this is just a pullback happening now. So what I'll be looking for is here. This is going to be my critical level now. So if this is indeed a deviation, okay. So what I'll be looking for is if silver can get to the SR level I've mentioned, what I'll be looking for is for gold, silver to come into that. As long as we're below that high, I think a pullback into there. I think this goes down. At least into here, and that would mean silver would probably be the better long if gold silver can come into there. That being if gold is still looking bullish at the time, silver is still looking bullish. So silver comes to the support level and gold looks like it's bottoming out, and we got gold silver here. I think silver at this point would be the better long.
Okay.
But a break above here, they're all in gold. So
yeah. Okay. Yep. So basically, it looks like the ratio's topped, and it could correct now, and that correction could lead to, again, more reversion to the mean, because over 90, I don't think I've seen in my lifetime in the gold silver ratio. You have to go back a long, long, long time to when you were in Pampers, or before you were born, buddy.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
So, is there any other pairs you want me to go through? I mean, I'm looking at cable. Now, I think cable's at a critical point.
Okay.
So, with cable, I'm looking at this old range I had while we were in this consolidation here. So, they've got the range high there, range low there, mid-range there. Where we're at is critical right now. I mean, there's obviously resistance at 123.80 here, and we could push up probably into there. But it's this that's critical for me. So, what I'm looking for in this play is I've got my... I mean, we've taken our last week's high and we're trading right there right now. But for me, if cable can come back below, so we had this range here in cable. We've got the bigger range, but the smaller time frame range is this. I've got my eye on. So now, if we can get back under here, I think the cable's topped out. If we can do something like that, oopsie daisy, and then like this. Then I think we've got probably a top in. And, well, I say top, it's still range bound till broken out either side. But I think back towards the open.
Any view on oil?
Oil, yes, I was going to get to oil. I'm very bullish oil. Well, I was very bearish and I've had to switch my biases. So we start off with the messy chart where I got my range set. So my range goes from this range low to that range high. And I did try to short this and I got lucky a couple of times playing it. But then every time it came to my key level, it's just sharp move. So all it's really be doing is ranging here.
Yeah, and we had that stop hunt last Monday to clean out the prior low, and even though it wasn't a reversal day, it kind of looked like it had a corrective look to it.
Yep. So I did a review earlier, and I was looking for longs on oil. Now after this sharp move down into this, but the key for me is holding above the mid range. So how many times, if you look historically, right, once it broke the mid range, respected it, sold off, deviated above it, came down, deviated above it, sold off, deviated above it, sold off. Now you got to ask yourself, how many times is it going to keep popping above this before it gives up? So I waited for the confirmation, and the confirmation came in the form of we got that high there, and within the ranges we have smaller ranges. We got one deviation there, and then deviation there. The fact that it did this move down and got back up, that was a big bullish case for me. And if you look, perfectly respected this as pushed up. So I bought some here. I've got a wider stop here, but I think we probably push into this level next.
61?
Well, short term 59.17, and then towards the range high, which comes in around 61.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think now any pullback is a buy. So for me, my risk would now be, I mean, if we can close above this, any pullback into here, I think the risk, as long as we hold above this low here, I'm looking for 59.20, 59.15 to 61.
Okay,
And
thanks
then we'll
for
see. So
confirming my views. Yeah,
so
okay.
if we make a clean breakout, that could push a lot higher. But I think seasonality-wise, October is a big sell-off month, I think, if I'm correct. So maybe if we can push towards there or there, once I get the technicals line up, then I'll start looking for shorts again. So, for example, say if you look historically at patterns and oil, it looks to me something like this. So it ranged for ages. So what I'll be looking for is, let me get a clean chart out. Then you'll see exactly what I'm looking for. So what I'll be looking for is something like this. So if we compare the two patterns, and this is just a bigger version of that, and then we get the breakout. As soon as it can come back within the range,
yeah,
and that's my deviation. At that point, that would be in the sell. So I'm looking for the same thing again. There, do its thing. As soon as it gets back within the range, then I'll be looking for the sells under there. At that point, I think we wipe out these lows.
Okay, well, do you follow anything on the interest rate front with what's been happening with flight to the bonds and chasing yields? You follow the Bund or Treasuries or a 10-year yield, anything like that?
I mean, I do follow the treasuries every now and again, but to personally, I just let other people do that work for me.
Okay.
I'm not expert at it, so there's no point pretending I'm good at something where I'm
Okay.
not.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know what? It only takes one market. Do you believe that sometimes that, I mean, people follow 20 things, but if you really master one, do you teach that at all, that people just lose their focus following too many instruments?
I mean, just taking my personal example, I can't follow too much other because if I do, I make mistakes. So, for
Yeah,
example, I'll give you an example. Like this morning, I mean, I was long euro, I mean short euro, and then it made me close my dollar yen position. And I'm thinking, what the sorry,
that's all right.
I was thinking, well, why did I close that? Because nothing's changed with the dollar yen.
Yeah,
So I got back in. I waited for a bit more confirmation. I got back in the dollar yen. But this is what happens when I'm in a trade. I mean, I only usually enter another trade once my initial trade, I've reduced my risk. Now I broke my rule and got into
you're
two. Normally I don't. Now that's just
okay.
me.
That's interesting. No, it's not only you, it's me. Me too. Anyway, so I was curious about that. Maybe we could wrap it with stock indexes. You've really, I've seen some great calls for you on S&Ps. New highs in the cards here.
Yeah, I mean, SPX probably been my best market here, and it's a market I rarely ever trade. Well, I used to really ever trade till this year. So I was looking for massive downside on this, but what
Yeah,
put me off is this is where the ranges helped me so much, where I identify, okay, whatever, like I said before, bigger time frame, small time frame, you're always in some sort of range unless you're at all-time high. Now, once this drop happened, we had a range low, range high, and mid-range. Now, for me, what would have confirmed this? Below the mid-range, I'm looking for shorts, okay? But that's just part of it. When it gets to the mid-range, what do I need to see? There was no breakdown here, no short here. Again, it came down here. Now, at this point, it went above, below, a lot of indecision. As soon as he was able to make a clear displacement above it, that was game over for shorts. And at this point, I thought, you know what, forget it, it's longs. So for me, it looks to me new highs. And
okay.
that further supports my dollar yen idea. So
Yeah,
I've actually got into DAX long. I couldn't find anything for the SPX, but there's a DAX long. And looking at DAX, I mean, we've got this key SR level here, key pivot. So you can see, just highlight it like this. We've broken above it. I think we're on for short term these highs, but I think DAX probably comes into here. I
okay.
reckon DAX is probably coming into there. So I've got a long on. As long as we stay above this low here, I think we're on for higher prices
Okay.
in DAX. So
No,
yeah.
okay. So no sign of a top. You'll reassess up there when it starts to do something wrong.
Well, if we, for example, say, because this is a key pivot, okay, if we break below here cleanly and stay below here, then I think all I can do for now is play level to level. So
Right.
back into this here. So fill this gap in and probably into there. If we get back below here though, if we get back below this level here, then I think we're on for
Yeah.
probably new lows. I say
Okay.
new lows, just back into
Right.
probably.
What happened in this summer? I have a question from one of our attendees on your yen analysis, he sees a gap in UJ up around 111. Do you have anything up there that could be that kind of possibility up around
Well,
111, or that's too long term?
so okay, so whatever I'm doing the lower time frame, I can do the same thing. So let me mark out what range. So if we, I believe, if we can get above 108.80s cleanly, that
Yeah.
opens the gates for, so for example, say if I'm drawing out my range, okay,
Oh,
and
I
what I'm
see
doing
the
the lower
gap
time
he's
frame.
looking at.
So this
See
is the
that
mid,
big gap over there? Go up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah, here's the gap he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So this is my midpoint pivotal level. Okay, so if we get it back above here, I think we've done the trading below here, and then that opens the gates for this half. So that's the bigger range. So we enter mid
Oh,
above mid range of the bigger swing like
okay.
this. So if we get it back above that, then I think we're probably on for this level here, the 105.50s, and then that opens the gates for this into these highs here then. So yeah,
Okay.
that would cover the gap, but only if we get above cleanly above here.
Okay.
We'll have to wait and see.
One step at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. Do the right thing today, and tomorrow takes care of itself, huh, bro?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So, what another round of great looks from Saeed Zaman. What's the best way for people to keep in touch with what you're thinking, what you're doing? Is it Twitter? You have another place you
Yes.
want to show your? You have a room that you work with people.
I've got my Twitter's probably the main one,
Okay.
Trader1AZ, and I've got a website traderz.com, so you can just check out what I do there. But yeah,
Okay.
it's mainly
All right.
Twitter.
I always enjoy talking to you, buddy.
Thank you for having me on there.
You're part of my intelligence gathering, and it's great to have you and for me to be able to ask you questions. And you helped me today. I'm sure you helped others, and I want to thank you for edifying face again.
Well, we'll have to delete it if Dalian drops.
Okay. All right. Well, good hunting, bro. And, we'll get something on the schedule for you to come back. And you
Definitely.
pinch hit for me before. So you're almost like a regular, you know?
Yeah, I've been
In
on hit.
fact, you are. You're a regular, Saeed.
Thank you very
You're a
much.
regular, great teacher, analyst, and trader, in my opinion. I respect you.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Dale.
Okay, everyone. That's a wrap for us here today. So don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And we'll see everyone for Turnaround Tuesday. Thank you again, Saeed. Adios, everyone.